I didn't have my disability level, I'd still be paying for a fishing license every year. I'd still be paying for a hunting license.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I didn't even have to pay for my trapping license. I'm a licensed trapper, and they gave me that for free too.
Well, we were talking about, I know we went off on the tangent about hunting and fishing and stuff like that, like we love fucking doing. I can't wait for bow season this year, dude. I got it so planned out. Look, I forgot to show you, we were talking about it when we were out today. No, I don't have those. I don't have those, but I did print out some of these. And it's pretty detailed for 23,000 acres.
Oh shit. ATV's prohibited.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
walking in, you're walking out.
Yeah, you're walking in, walking out. Pack light going in, so in case you got a pack heavy coming out. You know, and I don't plan on, I mean, this is going to be my first trip onto public land.
They got a shooting range.
Yeah. This is going to be my first trip up to public land that I've ever done. I'm looking forward to it so much, but I'm not going to go super fucking hard and get myself overboard. You know what I mean? I'm not going to pack in. One, I'm not quite for sure if I can get my pack, because you know us, man, we need to have I need to have something to start a fire, and then I need to have a backup in case that one doesn't, that thing breaks, and you know, I need to have a backup so I gotta replace that. That's how we think, and we're afforded that because of the Army.
Right.
Right? You know, but so I got to get my pack down light enough. And I think this trip is going to help me make the adjustment to start doing this more. You know what I mean? Start doing it.
What weather are we talking about?
September's it's warm. We're 70s. We're 70s. It might get down to low 62s at night at the most,
Yeah,
and that all depends on
about hypothermia or nothing like that.
No,
so, yeah.
No, and plus we're in thick woods, man. So you don't have that wind as bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you got less sunlight.
Yeah, but there's big openings. There's big openings. There's a telephone pole cutouts through the middle of them too, and those are hundreds of yards wide.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can get a long shot on those ones.
Yeah.
A lot of animals walk those. That seems
well, not the ones that I've seen down here because a lot of Jeeps run those.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. But I will use trails, dude. I'm not trying to fucking, oh man, we're not touching trails.
Yeah.
No, dude, we're trying to cover as much distance as possible. Let's make it as easy as possible. You know what I mean?
And what can you hunt here?
Almost everything. But what I'm going for is deer.
Right.
Whitetails.
They got bear?
They do have bear. Yeah. It is bear country.
You're allowed to hunt the bear there?
If you can get a bear tag to hunt West Virginia, and I'm not for sure if the county that it is legal to hunt bear in. I'm not familiar with West Virginia's bear.
But they have
laws.
if the bear charges you, you can kill it though, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's West Virginia, dude. Yeah.
So.
Look, we're pretty common sense when it comes to self-defending yourself, and
bear meat tastes.
I mean, we are not.
Good.
We are not. The rest of the world would hate how wild we are in West Virginia. But the West Virginians are like, dude, this is common sense. This is right.
Mm-hmm.
Bear charge me, I get to kill it.
Right.
I don't get to get charged and fined because I decided to carry my gun instead of my pepper spray.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I took my gun, shot it, killed it, didn't maul me and my family.
Right.
West Virginia's like, yeah, that makes sense. Good job. Are you going to take the meat? Would you like to?
Yeah.
No, they'll be like, you want to donate it? That's what they'll do. They'll be like, you want to donate that meat to a good cause? A lot of people do. They'll donate to a good cause. But if I killed a bear in defense, I'd be like, that's my first fucking bear. That's going in my freezer.
Dude, bear tastes good.
Yeah. You just have to high cook it now, I've heard.
Dude, my next door neighbor when I was in Alaska, well, he wasn't my right next door neighbor, but he lived right across the street. Like if I walked out my door, I could look over to his door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And dude, he was he had won the President's 100 and shit. Like he was a sniper.
Top 100 of the shooters. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Dude, he only hunted with a bow and arrow, and man, he used to go bear hunting all the time, and he only hunted with bow and arrow.
Yeah.
He said it was immoral for him to take a gun and to shoot and kill an animal.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand where he comes down to because everything's easy for him now.
But dude, he would give me.
It doesn't give the other animals a chance, and I think that's where I've gotten in my life too. I mean, I'm a damn good shot, and I haven't missed many deer in my life when it came down to using rifles.
Right.
I think there's maybe two, and that was like my first time that I had been hunting. I couldn't drive yet, and I know I was super small because my grandpa was still alive, and grandpa had this old C5 two-wheel drive, 3 on the tree truck, right, with the big bench seats across it. But damn if the heater didn't work real good in that old ass truck, you know what I mean? Grandpa was old, and what grandpa would do is he was like, first 2 days I'm only hunting fields. Only hunting fields, and he'd pull his truck up. And he'd be in the middle of these 2 fields. We could see a huge field off to the right and a huge field off to the left, and there was like a back 40 field up this way that was a huge incline. You couldn't see it because the trees covered it. It dipped down over a little bit of a ridge, right? But we watched that field every time, these left and rights, and I would get out because I was a little kid trying to impress my dad. I'd get out and I'd sit out. My dad would be out way earlier than Dawn. You know,
right.
He'd be in his seat where he's going to sit an hour before the sun's going to come up. Like, it's still dark.
Yeah.
And it was cold, man. And it was fucking cold in fucking West Virginia rifle season, Thanksgiving week, you know. It was cold for that Monday. And I was cold, freezing, but I didn't want to puss out. I didn't want to say I want to go back to the truck and stuff, and I'd be watching deer, just watching for deer, just like, you know, thinking you're staring at the darkness so long that you think you're seeing shit moving, you know what I mean? And it's not really there. There's nothing there. I'm not seeing. I was like, I see like 12 deer running around out there, just running around in circles. And that's definitely like 12 deer. You don't see no fucking 12 deer doing that ever.
Back and forth in the wind.
But and then sometimes I'd have to. It'd get too cold. You know, my dad would tell me, he's like, yeah, he's like, you cold? He'd always ask me, you cold? You all right? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I can make it. You know what I mean? I was hurting. I was fucking cold. And then a couple times it got too cold. I was like, I gotta go to the truck. I can't feel my feet anymore. You know?
Yeah.
And he'd be like
stinging.
Yeah, and he'd be like, all right, going up there, hop up in the truck with Grandpa. So I'd come down, Grandpa would be sitting in there, and you know, with us we were always quiet. Like, you open the door, and you go to shut the door, and you click it. You push it one more time so you don't make a bunch of noise. I'd open up the door, and the lights would come on. It's pitch black. The lights would all come on, right? And because we always turned them off so we couldn't give away our position for deer. And the Grandpa, he would leave his on, right? Open it up. The radio's on just loud, just a little bit too loud because he can't hear too well, right? So you get up and you'd hop up because, you know, when I was little, the seats were way up here on those trucks, you know. And I'd climb on up. I'd have to grab the little sissy handle that came with the little push button glove box that was just all metal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Pull up into that thing, and I'd sit down, and he'd be like, make sure you close that door, right? So that's what he meant by that is slam it. I'd be like, okay, Grandpa, bam. And I always thought, dude, if I had done that with my dad, he'd have fucking been pissed. I'd have got the eyeball. Like, you know, what are you doing? We're trying to be quiet, right? He'd have his radio up a little bit up. He'd have his coffee open, probably eating a honey bun or something that he was eating with the lights on, with his window rolled all the way down because it's so hot in there. And you know how loud those fans are in those old trucks? Like, or you know, making those mechanical fan sounds. Blowing so much heat. He's got his window rolled all the way down so he can still look and see. Every so often he'd grab his binos and have like a honey bun and be like this and looking around. But I was like, oh man, it was so warm in this thing. I was like, and I'd fall back asleep. I'd be like, oh, I'd be fighting it. I know I'd be fighting it too. I'm like, it's so hot. I can't get away from being sleepy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it now. Shit, I'll be driving the truck out there. And you can't if I turn the heat off in the truck out there, sometimes it takes days to come back on.
Yeah.
So, like, even when it's like 70 degrees out, I'm still riding with the heat on, dude. I'll be in there just like, I'll be putting the windows down, like, oh my God. Like, yeah, I need to get home.
Because it's weird. It's weird. I know when I got in the Army, and especially going to Alaska the first time, man, and getting so used to Alaskan weather, before I even got in the Army, I loved sleeping when it was cold.
Yeah.
I loved sleeping when it was cold. I used to get in trouble because I would leave my window cracked open in my room too long, and I'd leave the door shut, and then when my dad woke me up in the morning, he'd open the door, and it'd be like ice cold in my room. He'd get so mad at me, right? And sometimes I could hear him get up, and I'd be like, oh, I'll close it real quick, you know, and act like I'm asleep. You know what I mean? But he knew the room was fucking cold. And he's like, you got that window open? I'm like, oh, no, look, it's closed. Maybe it's just because the door was shut. Make up some excuse. You know, he didn't like the house was that cold and everything. But I love sleeping in the cold. Then I got to Alaska, and that was like, a lot of times you sleep in the fucking cold. Like when we went to Cold Weather Leaders course, I slept in negative 63 for 3 days in my man-made shelter. You know what I mean? With some dude I didn't even know. He was just in the school with me, and I was there with Gordo, and they didn't put me and Gordo together.
Right.
They split us up, and we had just
Gordo just came back from Afghanistan. Right.
Like we were super tight. We knew each other. We didn't have to talk to communicate. You know what I mean? We just we knew what we were thinking, what we were doing, and how we could fuck with each other. And they split us apart in the school and made us go in different places. But me and Gordo slept next to each other. You know, we had the bunks. Right. He had the top bunk, I had the bottom bunk. So we were always spending our time together. But when we were doing like missions and stuff, like pulling Akios and learning how to ski and stuff like that, they'd split us up into different squads so they could go through it. It sucked. I wish I would have gone through it tighter with Gordo, you know what I mean? Yeah. I can't even remember who my battle buddy was in that. I can't remember who the hell was in the tent with me. I know it wasn't fucking Gordo because I could make a normal size fucking shelter. I didn't work so hard. Because Gordo was like 6'5". Because he was a tall, lanky son of a bitch. So I would have to make an A-frame shelter that would be way longer than I was willing to do the work. I have to work so much harder just to help accommodate Gordon's tall ass. You know what I mean? So we made a normal size one. I remember the guys was my height. So it worked out perfectly. Right. And you know, you got to be tight in those things for them to work anyways. You know? But
shit, when we built those things,
I love sleeping in the cold, man. I love sleeping in the cold. And that's why. But now it's getting to, now that I'm getting older, it's, after I went through Haiti, I had to sleep in 105 degrees, 100% fucking humidity. It was 105 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning, Timmy, and we got off at 9 in the morning. So we went to work at 9 p.m., it's just starting to get dark. Everything's cooling off. It's all super nice. Air's starting to kind of move, the cold air, because we're close to the Port-au-Prince, so we're close to the ocean air. The ocean air comes in, and Haiti's not that big anyways, you know. I don't think I've ever talked to you about Haiti before.
Well, not much.
Not much. But
about Sean Penn.
Yeah.
Much of a douchebag he is.
Yeah. Yeah, we did not like Sean Penn. But we get off. We go to work at 9. Arms draw was at 8:30. It's just giving us our fucking M4 and our M9, and it went in your leg holster, you know. But you didn't have to wear. They didn't have you wearing like Kevlar's interceptor vest, not looking like combat soldiers, because we weren't there to be combat soldiers. We were there for humanitarian aid. It's when the earthquake happened, and I can never remember. I think it was 2010. But I can't actually remember because I got in 2003, or 2009. It might be the 2009 earthquake in Haiti. I can't remember. I can never remember the years. I was having so much fun, dude. I stopped. I was having so much fun. I love deploying, dude. I love deploying. It's something about all the bullshit's going to go away, and we can actually put our skills that we've trained to for so long together. Like imagine a UFC fighter that trains his entire fucking life, just trains. That's all he does, constantly fucking training. And then constantly switching from one job that you really know about to stop doing that for 4 months, and then switch to something else, and then switch to getting ready to go to a camp, you know, and then once every so many years you get to go in and do a 3-minute fight in the octagon. You know what I mean? It's a letdown. Yeah. It's a letdown. So we relish the whole, finally, we're not doing the bullshit cop part. We're not going out and training and listening to stupid ass training stuff that we don't need to be learning about, stuff that doesn't make sense. We finally get to apply our fucking skills to a real world mission that the world has to offer, and the Army sends us down to Haiti when the earthquake fucking happened, but after the earthquake happened, as humanitarian aid. And it was great. I fucking loved it. It sucked. It sucked so hard. It was disgusting.
It sucked so hard.
It was disgusting, but it was fucking awesome. It was. You remember how much we loved being in the field?
Yeah.
Like, even when I was in basic training, I loved going to all the FTXs.
Yeah,
I fucking loved them. So we got to do an FTX for 6 fucking months.
That's awesome.
And it was awesome.
Dude, I missed deployment because it was just, you didn't have to worry about nothing. Like, like none of the back home stresses.
We didn't have to do prim and proper dog and pony show, even though we're doing motor pool Mondays.
Right.
Like, they would bitch at us. I remember they would bitch at us. We were supposed to work at getting the Humvees, the Up Armor Humvees in Alaska, online and PMCS and good to go, right? And then you get all that fucking done, and they'd be like, fuck, you get goddamn oil on your uniform?
Yeah.
Go back to the barracks and change that shit. Or they'd be like, oh, did you decide not to shave today? Did you decide to not scrape your face? You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, I just worked as hard as I could for an entire hour so I could get 9 trucks done and help out all the people who are being shitbags, and are just stupid and refuses to learn how to PMCS a truck right. Deal with that so that we could just bullshit and hang out because that's what we want to do at the bin room. Mm-hmm. And you're bitching about my creases don't look good in my fucking BDUs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a different standard, man. There's a standard there. I don't know why I got off on that fucking tangent, though.
No, must have upset you.
Yeah, but anyways, I was saying Haiti was absolutely amazing because the company, where was I at? Oh, how hot and shitty it was. Yeah. We get off at, it was just starting to cool off at nighttime, and then it rained every fucking night.
Are you serious?
It rained every fucking night. I can't remember a night that it didn't. I can remember nights when it kind of sprinkled. It wasn't that bad. But I remember it raining every single fucking night for the 6 months we were there, dude.
Right.
Like, it was clockwork. And what was sucky about it is you had your poncho. Those Army ponchos, they kind of work. Sometimes they don't, but they suck. They make you wet just because you're sweating so much underneath of them. Yeah, you're not getting soaked from rainwater, you're getting soaked by your own sweat now,
so,
right?
Hold on, did you guys have to wear your rain gear and a poncho? Or you guys were just out there in ponchos?
Nobody really had rain gear. Nobody wanted to really fucking pack it. They didn't give us any fucking, like, we had, because there's a difference between the Gore-Tex top and bottoms and the rain gear top and bottoms.
Yeah. They're lighter.
Everybody just, when they asked for rain gear top and bottoms, supply and they give out supplies when you first get there.
Something. CIF.
CIF issue gives you the fucking Gore-Tex stuff instead of the actual rain slickers.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So, yeah, they hold off water for about an hour, for a good while, I would say. But you're getting soaked out there. The rain ones would stop them. You could just get away with it. It was just like wearing a fucking that stupid little bear with his fucking rain gear and galoshes and stuff on. It was like that, just camouflaged and cool, But a lot of people just used their poncho because we didn't have that. The Gore-Tex was also hot, too.
Right.
So it was cooling down and stuff like that, and it rained, but you didn't want to stand outside at your security point because we were pulling security on this small little fob that they had. I mean, the perimeter was still literally triple stacked concertina wire. That was the perimeter.
For real?
Like, no shit. And outside of that, we patrolled. Then they had another one that was double stacked triple strand wires. That one's a little bit farther out perimeter, but pulled patrol with the Humvees, and everyone was stationed at points where you could literally go like that and signal another guy. Some had blind spots because there's buildings in the way and stuff.
Right.
But it was, you talking about, I didn't think about it, and obviously it's not the same as like a lot of people don't get to, especially MPs, we don't get to see, like, don't, the MPs get into combat, but we don't get to see, like, the operations, at least I did in my experience, of setting up into a new country. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we didn't get to see Bagram being built. When we got to Bagram, Afghanistan was
Russia put it there.
Yeah, it was a Russian base that got expanded by the Americans, and I think there was somebody else in there between. I can't remember. Got expanded, and it was a pretty safe place to be in Bagram. It was nice. We were pushed. The perimeter was.
We were surrounded by minefields.
Yeah, we were surrounded by minefields because the Russians were just like, "How do you guys pull security? Security?
Yeah.
I have combat soldiers. They fight. They need sleep. Why would I put them on security? We put millions of mines out."
Yeah.
Well, did you, this will, Mulray always talks about it. He said, can you imagine the UN nations when we started getting into Bagram, Afghanistan and pushing out and stuff, and they're having their UN talks and they have all the references for the country, and they want to know, because how is Bagram, Afghanistan? How's the war in Afghanistan going on? Because, a lot of people were fighting that war. We ran into French soldiers. We ran into British soldiers.
Netherlands soldiers.
Netherlands soldiers. Yeah. Those are the ones with the big, badass trucks that they had with the big monster wide tires on them. Those guys were cool as shit, running around in fucking combat zone and big monster trucks. So I was like, Jesus. I want to be in that army for a little bit.
Dude,
anyways,
French Foreign Legion, all of them.
But he talks about the UN things. Like, it's going all right. It would be super good if somebody would have plotted where they put landmines at,
right,
and just stared at the Russian representative.
Right.
Like the Maury talks about, that would have been hilarious at a UN nations meeting.
Yeah.
But that's how they just put out landmines, and we had
everywhere.
to worry about. Remember, they found that landmine in that HESCO when they were replacing the big HESCO barriers.
Yeah.
One of the CBs or the contractors or whoever they were lifting it up broke it. Well, I mean, it's been sitting there for years. Those things last forever, and they're very secure.
Oh man.
But he rips one open, and one of the anti-tank mines roll out. Sometimes and that's all locally sourced dirt of them pushing it out, doing minefields. You always miss them. You will always miss them. It's almost impossible to get them all out. They're fucking... But landmines are the perfect fucking soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to feed them. You don't have to water them. Tell them to do one job, and they do it exactly when you're supposed to fucking do it.
Dude, them little crazy bastards. Man, we used to see the kids out there digging them some bitches up.
Yeah. The police stations that we were at always had a ton of them behind. They always tried to hide them.
Yeah.
Because they kind of... Their thinking was, we don't know how long the Americans are going to stay here. We do need to get arms.
Right.
Because if they leave, the Taliban's just going to come right back in here and fuck us up. You know what I mean? We're scared. The only reason why I'm part of the Afghan police is because I get 2 fresh uniforms for the entire year, forever.
Yeah.
You just have to keep them nice. And I get fed twice a day. That's why they join up. You know what I mean? Anybody else has their band dresses, and you have to constantly wash that and clean that. So these guys a lot of them wouldn't even be on duty at all, but they'd be wearing their uniforms, walking around doing whatever they want of town. You know what I mean? Just because they have a nicer uniform than everybody else. But the Afghan police would always try to keep a cache of weapons and keep them and do it because they knew the Taliban's going to come back in when we leave. They're not stupid. They've done this before.
Oh, yeah. Dude, people used to
and the Taliban and the Mujahideen used to be on our side.
Yeah.
If anybody, one of the greatest movies to ever watch, we probably should watch it. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but you'll understand it is what puts it in perspective is Charlie Wilson's War with Tom Hanks.
I ain't seen it.
He explains why Afghanistan is the way as Afghanistan is. And he's spot on to the way I experienced Afghanistan, of why it makes perfect sense why some places we go don't like us, some places we go they fucking love us. You know what I mean? Some places I'm not doing anything. Why are you being dicks to me? Just because they're super fucking tribal, super. I imagine though it's like I don't remember hearing except for I don't remember landowners, you know what I mean? I don't remember it being, they just say this is his farm, you know what I mean? And maybe he made a mud hut here, but I don't think they have any pieces of paperwork saying, hey, this is your land like we do in America.
Well, dude, that was just like the...
They just think of it as our territory. This is our valley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like the nomads.
Yeah.
Nomads would just... They were from Pakistan, all over. They would just walk through any country.
Right.
Just tending their sheep and walking their camels. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
they knew where to keep the nice weather to go, and they would slowly move in that direction. Be like, okay, I'm going to try to stay in perpetual spring, summer, fall. I'm going to try to move enough that as long as I keep moving them and I keep pushing them and I keep just living frugally, I can stay in good weather and I never have to deal with winter. Because there is winters in Afghanistan, and they are fucking shitty.
They're brutal.
But they were a godsend when it actually started getting cold for us, because we have been dying from fucking heat coming from Alaska to Afghanistan. We're cold weather soldiers, man. Fucking centuries of the North, you know.
Yeah.
We love cold weather. We were out in flip flops and shorts and t-shirts when it was like 55 out at Fort Ridge.
Yeah.
Like there was people who wore flip flops through winter.
Yeah.
They just think, I'm getting out of my house, I got to deal with negative 30 for about 15 feet, and then I get in my truck, which all of them either one had an auto start on it because you hit that early and it warmed, your truck's warm as shit when you get into it. I didn't. And then everybody had the battery heaters and the
oil heaters.
And the oil heaters.
So your motor oil was already warm. You start that bitch up and freaking start blowing out heat.
But they would wear flip flops. I can remember getting up, like the first thing I would do for PT before I had to go to the motor pool to do PT is I'd get up early, and whatever I was fucking wearing, I would just grab my shit and I'd walk down fucking CQ and I'd get to that front door of the barracks and everybody pauses. They put their hand on that fucking door and they're like, I know how fucking cold it is out there, and I've got to go 50 yards to my Jeep. You're like, man, I hope it doesn't suck too hard. You open it up and you just walk, and the moment you walk, right, that moisture that you had on your lips from waking up and licking your lip, you can feel it starts freezing.
Yes.
Like on your face, like all of a sudden, my face got sticky, right? And it's like, I can't take a full breath. So you're half breathing, and then it finally hits in, because I'm only in shorts, and I'm probably not even a shirt on, maybe just my PT shorts. No, I'd have my PT shorts on and my PT shirt, but I wouldn't have it tucked in. I'd be in flip-flops or whatever, and I'd be like, all right, and you'd be going and you'd be walking, right? And I know I had a soft-top Jeep, man, you know, so I knew mine's going to be a little bit stuck. So I open it up, unlock it, I have to yank on the door just a little bit, and it'd crack open, right? The seal would be frozen to the fucking metal, you know what I mean? I'd get in, and I had the plastic fucking seats, too, and I knew right when my fucking bare shorts, you know, Army PT shorts are way too short.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So you'd hit it, and you'd hit that seat, your fucking legs be fucking frozen, you'd be like, shove the clutch in, come on, bitch, I hope, you know, I'd run it over, let all the beeping stop, and I'd be like, I hope it fucking cranks over, like, and I had an Optima nice-ass battery into it, super expensive, and it was like, whoa, 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 and I was like, I know my Jeep always starts up, but it does have to make a full revolution before it'll build up enough compressor to fire. So it's going whoop, 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 and I was like, oh, thank you, because I was like, it's not going to turn it 3 more times, right? And it comes up and it starts up and it does its thing, and you just put all your heat all the way on high, the fans all the way on high, defrost, shut the door, and then you go in and you start getting ready for PT. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you get all your stuff, you have to wear your PT.
Long pants, your freaking
long pants,
spikes,
your tops,
your
PT jacket, but you had to have all your uniform underneath of that as well. So you had to wear your spandex, then your PT shorts, then your PT pants, and then underneath you had to have. You could pick when it came to shirts. You could pick short sleeve or long sleeve. Yeah. You're supposed to, by regs, go with long sleeve underneath your... If you're wearing your PT jacket, you're supposed to be wearing your long sleeve thing. And it's a forced way of layering system so that we can deal with Alaskan cold.
Right.
It makes sense, you know, but it is a pain in the ass when you have to always... And you couldn't be fucked up and messed up. You had to have white no label socks,
Yeah.
and they couldn't be too high, or they couldn't be too short.
Yeah.
And you had to have certain shoes, and it couldn't be stylish shoes. And everybody had to look like those stupid ass go fast fucking the dumbest Adidas running shoes you could.
Yeah, you had to have running shoes.
Yeah.
Couldn't be LeBrons or
no, not like
shit.
some Converse All Stars that somebody's like, man, I'm comfy running in Converse All Stars. You know what I mean? No, you couldn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else had that. You couldn't have that, right? And then you had to have your gloves, and you had 2 sets of gloves. You had the glove inserts, and then you had those big, thick leather working gloves with the nylon strap. Yeah. I hated those things. They were so bulky. They work great. They work great. If you put the liners on and using that, I've never felt a glove that's ever any warmer. You know what I mean? I've got the inserts. I don't have the leather ones. I wish I did.
I think I got them right out in the truck.
Awesome. But they were great for working. You could pick up like barbed wire with them.
Everything.
Well, you couldn't do concertina. They had the gloves that always came with the rolls. You remember that? That had the woven in. I had grabbed concertina wire with those before, and one of them came through and stuck me, and I was like, okay. It didn't get me hard, but I'm not used to feeling that with these big leather gloves that we had to wear. And I was like, okay, I can't go with that. And they get real stuck on. Like, they don't stab you, but they grab. But, so we're doing, you had to do that. When you had to have a beanie, your balaclava, which I always have my balaclavas. I still have those to the day.
Freaking, you could wear knit caps, but I always liked wearing the balaclava because when your face started getting cold and shit. Yeah. Yeah. Like when your eyes started freezing together.
Yeah. Dude, that was
you could pull that bitch all the way down.
Yeah. I remember that's how the when it got cold in Alaska, it did get cold. But I think we being in it as long, I don't think it would take me a little while to adapt nowadays. You know what I mean? We haven't dealt with that, and plus we're not as young as we used to be. You know, we don't adapt as fast.
Shit, dude, I couldn't even handle the cold this winter, man.
Yeah, the cold got to me this winter, and of course I dropped a lot of weight. I mean, I went. Yeah, you too. Yeah. I mean, at my biggest, I was at 238 when I got out of the Army. I was doing nothing but pounding beers, and I was doing the whole, I should probably get off of drinking Jack Daniels. I'm going to just drink beers. Yeah. And then so I was just drinking beers, and of course it just turned into, well, what's the strongest beer that I can drink? You know what I mean? Okay, Natty.
Where's that Sierra Nevada 13.9?
Yeah, exactly. What's I was a cheapskate, so I'd be like, Natty Ice 6%, I can get drunk on this. Awesome. Yeah. So I'd pound those, feel like shit the next day, and then the whole time I was ballooning the fuck up. So when I got out of the Army, and I stayed at my heaviest in the Army, well, when I was in a line unit, because when I hurt my back in Belgium, I got up to 238, and it's because I could not work out, and I legitimately couldn't work out, and I couldn't work out, and I wasn't allowed to work out. And Belgium has 3,600 different types of beers, and we drank. I came from a drinking unit in Alaska to a fucking drinking PSD fucking unit in Belgium, and first time I got to go over in like Europe, you know what I mean? And I'm 22. Yeah. I'm 22. I'm just caught up. I got combat patches. You know, I've got enough sway, and I'm a specialist now. I've got enough sway that I can kind of have fun in the Army now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And party like a rock star. You know what I mean? But so I ballooned up there, but I usually stayed around when I got to Fort Polk and when I was in Alaska and stuff. Obviously, I was in super good shape coming out of basic training. I was 160. And then I ran in Alaska, I ran around 210. Right? That was my normal thing. My combat, when we went, I got down to 173. We were all in good shape coming out of fucking Afghanistan, dude.
Dude, I was doing like fucking 25, 30 pull-ups. Like just knocking them out. Like, whoop, 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 like.
Because you had nothing to do but work out, dude.
Yeah, dude, Sergeant Brown used to make us work out twice a day.
Wait, Gold 2 Sergeant Brown?
Yes, Gold 2. Yeah, because you know what he always used to tell me?
I forgot that he was your team leader. And he was a good team leader, wasn't he?
He was my squad leader.
Oh, that's right. But you guys were friends.
You guys ready to smoke some more drugs?
Yeah, a little bit.